up on the CrossFit Games Update Show. We'll recap Annie Thorisdottir and Lindsey Valenzuela's matchup in Brooklyn and get you ready for the live announcement of 13.3. We'll dive into the leaderboards and give you the best performances from the past week. And we'll have the story of Jackie Pierce, an athlete who overcame unbelievable odds and is now competing in the Open. The CrossFit Games Update Show starts now. Hello everyone, and welcome to the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Pat Sherwood alongside Maddy Curley, and after winning our last bet, which was double or nothing, we're both even Steven.
Yep, I don't like that.
Love it. The announcement for Open Workout 13.2 was a classic CrossFit triplet set as a 10-minute AMRAP. Excited fans jammed into CrossFit South Brooklyn and filled the place to capacity. As a matter of fact, we had to cap the number of tickets sold.
Yeah, these announcements aren't just head-to-head throwdowns anymore. They are becoming spectacular community events. The athletes are walking in like prize fighters with boxes around the world tuning in and cheering them on. We had the privilege of talking to Lindsey. She said it was fun, fast-paced, and exciting, and one of the best things was having her mom there watching.
Of course, right? Mom power. These athletes are putting themselves at an enormous disadvantage doing the workouts with almost no preparation. They are the rabbits for the rest of the community to chase. We benefit from seeing them set the pace, and we get to learn from them. So thank you, ladies.
Exactly. They both had really long flights. Lindsey had very last-minute notice, and yet they still posted top scores in their regions.
Lindsey got in like 2 a.m., had to order something from a 24-hour diner, then crash out with the time zone change, so it's rugged. They have interviews, rehearsals, new locations to deal with, and the pressure of performing on the spot in front of the entire CrossFit world, and they handled it like champs. Annie came out victorious, beating Lindsey 361 reps to 335. Rory McKernan caught up with Lindsey and Annie after the event.
I had the plan going hard through the first 2 rounds and seeing where it would hurt the most. And if my shoulders would get tired, I would start doing push jerks. And if my grip got tired, I was going to change the grip in the air and go into the lock grip on the deadlift. I never had to do that because I never really felt my grip or shoulders. It was the same with the box jumps. If I would have to slow down, I was going to just pause a bit longer on the top every single time. Otherwise, it was a good workout.
Any room for improvement, or did you leave it on the court? Are you going to do this one again?
No. One and done. I'm confident. Regionals, you don't get a retry. The only thing I need to work on is probably box jumps because those killed my back. Nothing else bothered me but the box jumps. So it was the pounding just bugged my back a little bit.
As incredible as they both did on that workout, there are a bunch of fresh names in the top 10 of the women's leaderboard for 13.2. Only 2 of them are well known as individual athletes. This was a very different workout compared to week 1. 13.1 had a technical lift and got very heavy. For 13.2, if you were comfortable with the loading and you had an engine, it was possible to put up a big score. For example, Linda Thomas was 8th in the world on 13.2, but 675th on 13.1, so a big swing there.
Big swing. Our first place finisher was Danielle Siddell, but just because you haven't heard of her doesn't mean she's a stranger to the games. She competed at the Home Depot Center last year with her team, SPC CrossFit, placing 2nd. In the final workout, she completed Isabel in a remarkable time of 2:08. Danielle is currently in the Army and did 13.2 with a Major General counting her reps. So, you know, Pat, no pressure there.
No pressure there.
At 5'10", 24 years young, she's rocking a 405-pound deadlift and a sub-5 mile.
Because she's a beast. I was on Facebook. I read the twits. I know what people are saying. Danielle, I saw you compete at Central East last year. I know you're a badass. I know you're legit. I look forward to seeing you in the Open. You didn't know Siddell's name? Well, now you do. But here's a name I bet you were already familiar with, Sam Briggs.
There she is again at the top. She finished 3rd in 13.1 and now 4th in 13.2. It looks like her perseverance and determination to rehab her knee injury are paying off. You can see just how beautiful all Sam's reps are. This is the kind of video you want to submit.
Briggs is back. The best performers in the Open The regionals and the games obtain the top places through consistent results, like Sam Briggs. Best in the world one day, bottom of the barrel the next. That's not going to get you on the podium. Another young woman caught our attention after 13.2 for this very reason. She kicked ass both weeks in a row.
Yeah, she did. Kalina Ladaris was 6th worldwide in 13.1 and 3rd in 13.2. 2 great performances in a row. A couple other names to watch out for. Lindsey Cascarina from the Southwest region takes 2nd with 389 reps, and Jen Smith from Central East ties Sam Briggs' score.
If you tie Sam Briggs, you're doing well.
Doing well.
Another name that you're familiar with, Jenny LeBaugh. Now, while Jenny is not in the top 10, but that doesn't make her performance last week any less impressive.
Once again, Jenny did not let a broken leg stop her from doing 13.2. Jenny managed to rack up a score of 230.
Amazing.
Yes, she had to get a little creative with the box jumps, but the shoulder to overhead presented no problem. LeBaugh won't be competing after the Open, but she's still beating plenty of competitors who have full use of both their legs.
Keep it up, Jenny. We love you. Week after week, you're just taking away excuses from people.
Yeah, I love it.
Thorisdottir, Clever, Briggs, move over. Danielle Siddell occupies the #1 spot atop the women's leaderboard. There are only 3 names in the top 10 that are familiar as individual competitors.
However, half the women in the top 10 are no strangers to performing at the highest level. They are all former Games team competitors from 2010 on.
Let's put something into perspective real quick. The fact that Annie Thorisdottir is outside the top 10 needs to be put into perspective. She flew across the Atlantic Ocean, changed time zones. Her normal routine was upside down. She did the workout with minimal preparation. That's a situation most of us didn't have to deal with. Do not count her out. This Wednesday, March 20th at 5 p.m., that's 1700 if you're in the Army like Siddell, Pacific time, announcement of Open Workout 13.3 is going to happen. This time, we're coming at you from CrossFit Roots in Boulder, Colorado, where 2010 Reebok CrossFit Games champion Kristen Clever will face off against the 3rd place finisher from last year, Telena Fortunato.
Feel like placing another friendly wager on this one?
There's nothing friendly about it. Yes, I do.
Tell you what, I will let you check out the tail of the tape before you make your decision.
Okay, all right, let's see.
There it is. You know what? Ladies first. I'm going to take Chris.
That's how it works, huh?
That's how it's going to
I
work.
will gladly take Telena. I mean, her nickname is the Spider Monkey. She's obviously going to win. But I'll tell you what, if you need more proof of Fortunato being victorious over Clever, let's check out some tape from last year's final event of the Games, where a spot on the podium came down to a single pull-up.
Oh man, doing Fran at the end of the Games, and then the most expensive pull-up, I'm guessing, in history.
You couldn't have had a closer finish, and I expect to see Telena's better even now than she was last year. She didn't make the Games the previous year, took 4th in her region, and just trained like a gladiator
And
all year.
that's why I think that Chris is going to want it back this year.
All right, we'll see, right? We'll see. Just be patient. We're taking a quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how the men performed this week as we take a look at the men's leaderboard. More CrossFit Games Update show when we return.
The CrossFit Games Update Show is brought to you in part by Progenics, the official performance nutrition sponsor of the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games.
Where's Neil? Where'd he go? Come on, man. Neil.
I haven't seen him in a couple minutes.
Neil.
Neil!
Come on, man. Where you at?
Neil, we gotta go! I'm disappointed.
Welcome back to the CrossFit Games Update Show. This week, lots of new athletes made up some serious ground on the men's leaderboard. Only 2 from the top 10 of 13.1 are in the top for 13.2.
Ben Gerard and Patrick Gallagher tied for the #1 spot on 13.2 with 387 reps. Gallagher, much like the women's leader Siddell, is sporting a monster deadlift, 605 pounds, and a blazing fast 5K time of 17:09.
Wow, so strength and endurance almost has fitness, right? We'll have to look more into that. But it was an unknown who made the biggest jump up the leaderboard. 21-year-old Dakota Rager finished 8,721st on 13.1, and then ready? Took 6th in 13.2. Well done.
Well done indeed, and he's in good company. He tied with Dan Bailey with a score of 375. Rager had trouble with the loading in 13.1, but that was not the case last week. Out of the Mid-Atlantic region, he's only 21 and 150 pounds, but Rager has a 241 Fran time, a 395-pound deadlift, and a 457 fight gone bad. He clearly has some holes in his game, but this is probably not the last time we'll hear from this guy.
Without a doubt. Keep training, brother. We will be talking about you in the future. Now, from the extreme to the consistent. While Rager was jumping up the leaderboard, Miko Salo was the model of consistency.
Miko finished 10th in 13.1 and then turned in a 9th place performance in 13.2. Last time we saw Miko at the games was 2011 when he had to drop out after suffering an ear injury in the first event. He missed last season with a knee injury, but now he's snatching well and box jumping like a freak, so he's definitely back to full strength.
Indeed he is. And our very own Katie Mader-Henniger did 13.1 with Miko in Europe, and we're happy to report the 2009 champ is feeling well, he's feeling strong, his knee is healthy, and he is fired up to be back. Now, in contrast to the women's leaderboard, we have many more familiar names filling out the top 10 spots. After 2 weeks of competition, the champ is back on top. Rich Froning Jr. occupies the #1 spot, but not by much.
Not by much at all, that's right. Georgia boy Matt Baird is 2 points behind him. He tied Rich on 13.2 and was only 2 snatches away from Rich on 13.1. We spoke to Matt and he said he's now being coached by CJ Martin and his main focus this year has been his mental game.
Gotta watch out for those boys from the dirty South. We haven't mentioned Baird's name on the update show yet, but he's been competing at a high level for years. In both 2010 and 2011, he made it to regionals, finishing in the top 10 both times, but injuries held him back. Here he's making 270 pounds look light. He's focused on making it to the games this year and surprising a lot of people with his performance, and he's on track to do just that.
I think he will.
Now, sadly, one athlete's name who will no longer appear on the leaderboard is Josh Golden of CrossFit Grover Beach. He posted 387 reps on 13.2. General manager of the CrossFit Games, Justin Berg, saw a video of Golden's performance that had been circulating on social media. It was then determined that Golden's score would be rejected. His shoulder to overhead and box jumps did not meet the movement standards. As a result, he is no longer in contention for a spot in the Southern California Regional. His affiliate, CrossFit Grover Beach, will no longer be able to validate workouts for the remainder of the season. To be clear, Golden is not accused of cheating. He's a good dude. He just failed to meet the movement standards for 13.2. Guys, let this be a lesson to all of us. This is a serious competition and the movement standards are not suggestions. Make sure that you and your judge are clear on exactly what needs to be done in each workout before you do it. All the info you need is posted on the CrossFit Games website.
And now, moving on to the Masters. Proving once again that age doesn't matter, Bill Grunler defies the odds, ranking in the top 30 of the individual means leaderboard and in the top 5 of his Southern California region.
Like every other young man, when I grow up, I want to be Bill Grunler. A woman equally as impressive as Grunler, if not more so, is Amanda Allen. First time I met Amanda was at the Australia Regionals in 2011. She qualified and went on to take 19th at the games that year. Currently, she sits in number 21 on the worldwide leaderboard.
It's crazy.
Competing with ladies much younger than her. She don't give a damn. She's killing it.
Yes, she is. We spoke with Masters athlete Jacinto Bonilla. Jacinto is out of New York and is an inspiration to many of us. At 73 years old, he scored 259 reps on 13.2, and he attributed his great score to using step-ups.
He's been in the game for a while. He knows what he's doing. As the oldest competitor ever at the games, Jacinto is one of my personal idols. Man, you're a badass. Now, whether you're an individual or a master, regardless of your age, many of us are also part of a team. And a unique trend this year has been the surprising number of former team athletes going individual. Apparently, team is great preparation to be an individual.
We talked with several affiliates about their experiences so far in the Open. Coach Joe Westerlin at CrossFit Omaha may have 2 former Games athletes at his box, but his regular members are taking the Open way more seriously, to include skipping out of work early to do the workout.
I like the way they roll. Why be at work when you can be at the gym? Being part of a team can be one of the most fun ways to enjoy the Open and support your box. If you're not currently on a team, seriously think about signing up for one next year.
But if you do, make sure you read up on the rules. After extensive investigation, there are 3 gyms that are likely to be disqualified for using ineligible athletes. They created teams using athletes from multiple gyms. However, their team members will be able to compete as individuals. If you're on a team, make sure you document everything, record workouts, post them on Facebook, send out tweets. Don't leave any doubt about any of your athletes. Again, this is a serious competition, and these are rules, not guidelines. They're rules that need to be followed to the letter.
And they're clearly made available. Follow them, everybody. We want everyone to have a fun, long season. When we come back, we'll check in with the CrossFit community at large and learn about a woman who's lucky to be alive, Jackie Pierce. She is competing in the Open, and her story is inspiring. More from the CrossFit Games Update Show when we return.
Wardrobe for the CrossFit Games Update Show has been provided in part by Mizzen & Main. Tradition evolved.
Welcome back to the CrossFit Games Update Show. Sports are filled with stories of incredible comebacks, but the story of Jackie Pierce might be unlike anything you've ever heard before. She had a near-fatal accident and faced a mountain of challenges most of us could not even imagine. Meet Jackie and learn how CrossFit is helping put her life back on track.
Let me go ahead and launch you. We have one child approximately just 13 to 15 years old.
We were going to start taking little joy rides on the moped. We went driving, and on the way back to my house, I was rounding a curve and lost control and hit a tree. When I hit the tree, the impact was so hard that my face detached from my skull. I broke every bone in my face. They couldn't find eye sockets. My eye sockets had powdered. My face pretty much contains of titanium square plates and screws. I also had 2 strokes while I was in the hospital. You know, you hear of older people having strokes. You wouldn't think a 17-year-old would have a stroke. On the 14th night, I guess was the day that I came out of my coma. And then on the 11th day, my dad had to sign the release form to take me off life support. And my body, I actually started breathing on my own. And that's when the doctors were like, well, I guess she's gonna clear this. You know, it's like the little things you take for granted, you don't really think about them until they're taken away from you. I just think CrossFit is such a blessing just for the fact of, like, I love that we're a part of it and we're gonna get to raise our families up in it. It's just such a great lifestyle to have. CrossFit Rutherford, it's so fun to work out here because I know I'm gonna get encouraged. I know I'm gonna get told to get on the box or keep working. And so to me, it's motivation. I was just such a baby coming in. I was shy, I was timid, I didn't really want to try new things, and so I just did it, and it felt so liberating. CrossFit right now for me is my therapy. I just love going to any CrossFit competition. I love the atmosphere. I love the feeling you get when you're surrounded by all those people. And I always said before I die, I want to just do a CrossFit competition. I never honestly thought I'd ever be doing one.
She was still in bed and I went and signed her up online. Then I told her about it when she woke up.
So I have no choice, so I'm in it. I get to check it off my bucket list.
She had never done an actual snatch with an Olympic bar. When she hit that first snatch, people were screaming and there were people off just crying and everybody was videotaping it. It was just a really neat moment for both of us.
I may not be at the top of the list on any of the WODs, but I always try my hardest every time. And I always get through the WODs. I don't quit. Can't and quit, those aren't options. Just because it appears that you may not be able to do something, you never know if you don't try. I never dreamed that I'd be able to do that 45-pound snatch. But for me, that's a huge feat. I never would have imagined that I'd be able to do that. So just to never give up.
An incredible story, right? We've covered so many different powerful stories here on CrossFit, but Jackie, yours hit me like a ton of bricks. We are all rooting for you hard in the open, and you are a badass.
Yes, you are. She is such a badass.
No kidding.
Another badass, Jason Hogan, has been described as the thinking man's CrossFitter. And with a background in counterintelligence and enrollment in SMU Law School, he has the pedigree to back up his title. He also scored 330 reps on Open Workout 13.2, using the excitement of the live open announcements to help motivate his performance. He projected the live feed on the wall of his gym, and then he tried to keep pace with Lindsey and Annie as he did the workout.
Good luck keeping pace with those animals, but what a great idea, projecting that onto the wall of your affiliate. Steal that. All affiliates around the world should be doing that this week. How cool. Maybe they'll do it up in Canada, where athlete Chris Stoutenberg is not letting his wheelchair get in the way of him doing the Open. The two-time Paralympic gold medalist in wheelchair basketball has performed both 13.1 and 13.2. Stoutenberg, who is known as Stouty, was paralyzed from the waist down after a fall from a second-story balcony in 1997. After a 10-year career with the Canadian national wheelchair basketball team, Stouty turned to CrossFit. Last year, he was able to complete a 15-foot rope climb, get this, with just his arms still in his wheelchair. He took the wheelchair up the rope with him. That is amazing.
It's so incredibly strong.
Unbelievable.
One picture that showed up on Instagram was quite popular with the CrossFit community last week. Our own Rory McKernan got some Jedi Master coaching from the one and only Yoda. Apparently, Yoda not only lives in Brooklyn, but also frequents CrossFit gyms, telling athletes to do or to not do. There is no try.
Was that? I don't know if that was a voice or not.
Do or not do.
It was a facial crunch.
I don't know. All right, but we always want to see what you guys are doing in your boxes during the Open. Be sure to send all your great videos and pictures to us via our CrossFit Games Facebook and Twitter pages. If we like it, we'll use it. And you can see all your friends right here on the show.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, Wednesday, March 20th, to see Kristen Clever trying to avenge her Games Fran loss from last year to Telena Fortunato, as two of the fittest women on earth go head-to-head in Boulder after the announcement of Open Workout 13.3. It can all be found right here on games.crossfit.com. That's our show, everybody. Come back next week, and we'll break down 13.3 and get you up to date on all the leaderboards. Good luck on the workout, and we'll see you next week on the CrossFit Games Update Show. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shizzle snap peas.
Try to get my head right on your tie.
Sorry, dude.
Oh, so close.
This day won't end.